Welcome back. There is a live look outside at the Oregon coast from our In Its Spanish Head Resort Hotel camera in Lincoln City. Thanks for watching Afternoon Live. With all of the stressors and tragedies that we're faced with daily, it's important to turn to healthy coping mechanisms. So here to help us practice acceptance so that we can make peace with our anxieties, we welcome back former Stanford professor, physician, and author of Gain Without Pain, Dr. Greg Hammer. Hey, it's great to see you.
Great to see you again, Hannah.
So let's talk about acceptance and what that means, because some misconception about what acceptance is and is not.
Sure. I think the initial premise is that, as we all know, the world does not comport with our apparent wants and needs. The things are not as we would like them to be. And in large part, those are things that we can't change. I think we're all experiencing stress and dismay over what's happening in the world, in Gaza, in Ukraine, just in general, with the great political divide in our country, which is always on the front page if we're looking at the newspaper or watching media, news outlets. So we're constantly surrounded by things that are stressful to us and not in compliance with what we think we want and need. And so how do we cope with that? And the issue is, I think we need a practice in order to specifically address that. And as the Serenity Prayer would have it, we need to first discern what we can change and what we cannot change that is unpleasant or painful, and work on embracing and fully accepting that which we cannot change. And the good news is our brains are capable of making that adjustment.
Okay, and you pointed a couple of things that acceptance is not. It is not resignation, it is not approval. You don't have to say, this is okay with me. You just have to sort of, this is the experience that I've been presented with.
Exactly. We can be the observer and not feel so intertwined with what's happening that, we get dragged down by it. So you're absolutely right. We need to be sort of the objective observer over what's happening in our life. And if we can identify the right path, the way of approaching the stress that we experience, we can learn to be accepting and become much happier in the process.
And a simple place to start, maybe a daily meditation practice. Does that help you kind of tap into that sort of neutral place of, yeah, I can't change everything in the world. I can only deal with what's in front of me right here, right now.
Absolutely. So, as you and I have discussed, our brains are wired in ways that tend to make us unhappy. And those ways that our neural networks, these patterns that have been established over tens or hundreds of thousands of years in Homo sapiens, are meant to help us survive. But that which benefits our survival doesn't necessarily improve our happiness. In fact, they're often at odds. So being very negative and wary and resisting things we don't like is our natural tendency that's sort of programmed into our brains. And it may help us survive, but it doesn't help us be happy. And as I said, the good news is, through a mindfulness practice, for example, as you alluded to, a daily practice that can be rather brief, we can learn acceptance. It just takes a plan and it takes practice.
And some benefits of once you've gotten there and you can allow your feelings to come and go and just be as they are, that can kind of help you interact in a more positive way with the world around you?
Absolutely. So first, embrace that we're vulnerable, right? Vulnerability can be a source of strength. That's the empowerment paradox. And once we learn that our vulnerability is universal, there's nothing to be ashamed of, it's not our dirty little secret, we are subject to negativity and depression and fear and anxiety. And let's accept that for one thing. And once we do that, we're really better equipped to go forward and learn to accept other things that are stressful in life and avoid that acute stress response every time we have a thought of something unpleasant.
And does that help you have more empathy for those around you as well?
Absolutely. I think, first of all, embracing our vulnerability and understanding that we're all wired this way. So we're all vulnerable. We all have weaknesses. We're mortal. And, for anybody who's watching and listening, I would say the first thing is, this is not your dirty little secret, as I said. We're all wired this way. So let's first accept and embrace that. And I think that definitely will increase our empathy and loving kindness for ourselves and others.
Yeah, sometimes we have to be a little bit easier on ourselves, and that kind of opens the door to be a little kinder to everyone around us. Hey, it was great to see you. Thank you so much, Dr. Hammer.
My pleasure, Hannah. Thank you very much.
The book again is Gain Without Pain. We'll have more information on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.